The HMD Skyline smartphone looks ready to challenge the mid-range market, offering some flagship-worthy features and a unique design. Plus, this phone is built for DIY repairs. We'll talk about that later in this video. Now, the big question here is this $500 smartphone going to blow other similarly priced devices off their feet, or is it just another overly glorified device? 3 months after launch and haven't quite used this device for a while, I want to help you decide, and so without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Before we dive deep, let's quickly go through what you get out of the box. It's pretty basic stuff. You've got the smartphone itself, a USB-C cable, and some paperwork. And yep, you guessed it, no charging brick. HMD is jumping on that eco-friendly train, so you'll need to grab one separately if you don't have one lying around. No earbuds or case either, but hey, that's pretty much the norm these days. Now, the design is where things get really interesting. You know what? The moment I pulled this phone out of the box, it hit me with this wave of nostalgia. Something about it just took me right back to the old Nokia Lumia days. The frosted glass back feels absolutely premium, like silk under your fingers. And get this, no fingerprints with this back. The design is a bold choice with a curvy, boxy, nostalgic, futuristic shape. It has really sharp corners that can dig into your palm and a little flat frame, which honestly gives it some old school vibes. But here's the crazy part, and I absolutely love this one. You can actually repair this thing yourself. One screw, pop off the back, and you're in. If the battery needs replacing, you can do that. Display is acting up, you can replace it. You can actually fix this device with the parts yourself. As someone who loves getting hands-on with tech devices, this is massive. When it comes to colors, they are giving you options, and there's this wild neon pink that's definitely not for everyone, a gorgeous blue topaz color, which is the one I have here, and a sleek twisted black option. As far as the weight, you're getting this at around 210 grams, but it feels really solid in the hand. Oh, and they've added this cool little button on the side. Think of it as iPhone's action button to the right side on an Android device. And I've got mine set up for quick screenshots with a long press and double tap for the flashlights. It's super convenient. Certain things I noticed include the fact that the unit I have here had a lift to the bottom right corner at the back, meaning dust and water could easily have seeped in this device if I wasn't careful, all thanks to the ability to unscrew the back of this device. And that also makes it not a so waterproof device at IP54. The Skyline has a dual SIM tray, the hybrid type, meaning you can either use dual SIMs or just a SIM and a microSD card to expand your storage. When it comes to the fingerprint sensor, the power button doubles as a scanner, which is quite fast for what it does. Okay, audio now. The Skyline boasts stereo speakers, and while they are not groundbreaking, they do deliver clean sound, and I found them loud enough during media consumption. And here's the thing, I've seen better at this price point. In fact, when compared to the $330 Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus, that cheaper device has better bass and sounds better. There is no 3.5mm headphone jack, but that's the trend now, right? For Bluetooth lovers, you get Bluetooth 5.2, aptX HD, and aptX adaptive features on this device, so wireless sound is fantastic if you have the right earbuds. Now let's talk about the display because wow, HMD packed this with a 6.55-inch P-OLED panel running at 144Hz, and honestly, it's pretty impressive. When scrolling through your social media or just bouncing between apps, everything feels silky smooth. Colors pop like crazy thanks to the OLED tech, and those black, they're as deep as midnight. Now I love this display. It really is similar to the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus's display, and you know I prefer that display to the S23 FE, so colors here are quite good. But here's where it gets a bit weird. You know how most phones these days have this adaptive refresh rate? Yeah, not this one at 144Hz. You can set the display to adaptive refresh rate from the display settings, and that will max out at 120Hz. But choosing 144Hz means the varying rate doesn't apply to that setting, and that would drain your battery life, honestly. And I've got to mention these bezels because not only do you get these chunky black bars, but there's this extra padding around the chassis that makes them look even bigger. It's giving more 2020 vibes, and not in a good way. Alright, let's get into what's powering this device, and you're looking at the Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 chip, built on a 4nm process. They're offering it in either 8GB of RAM and 128GB storage and 12GB of RAM 256 storage. Plus you can slap in a microSD card if you need more space. For day-to-day stuff, yeah, it handles things pretty well. Android 14 runs nice and smooth, and it's clean too. None of those bloatware nonsense. HMD is promising 2 years of major Android updates, so you get Android 15 and 16 down the line. But here's the thing that bugs me, and I mean it really bugs me. For a phone that's all about being repairable and lasting longer, 2 years of updates feels kind of stingy. Like Samsung is offering 5 years of updates, Google offers 7 years, heck, even the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G offers 3 years of updates. There are some other things I noticed about this device that are really concerning. First off, when you game over a long period of time, the battery drains. This battery life is not the best you get out there. Secondly, this device tends to get uncomfortably warm. The other thing I noticed about the software life on this thing is the fact that sometimes notifications are delayed. I don't know, for some reason, maybe a bug with the OS, but it happens. The experience with this device is not the best. But overall, there were no major lags except for the warming issues, late notifications that came in, which could be fixed with a software update. And battery life was not the best here, but as far as performance, this will handle lots of things you throw at it just fine. Now, you might argue that there are better things for this price, which is absolutely correct, but it can handle most of the things you throw at it for day-to-day use. And let's talk about value for a second. This smartphone is $500. For $150 less, you could grab the S23 FE that will run circles around this thing and get you way more updates. And when you put it that way, it's kind of hard to justify this device. Don't get me wrong, it's not a slow phone by any means, but at this price point, you're not getting the best bang for your buck, not even close. For those who love to see benchmark scores, here are the Antutu, Geekbench and 3D Mark scores to give you an idea of what you'd get with this device. Gaming on this phone is decently good. With the Adreno 710 GPU, you get respectable performance in popular titles like Call of Duty and PUBG. However, you might need to tweak the settings for the most data-free gameplay. This will feel a bit smoother for games that support high refresh rate modes, but don't get too excited. Ultra-fast action games can feel a tad sluggish due to the more modest GPU. But overall, there were no major lags or overheating issues. I had a good experience, especially considering the 144Hz display. Now for the part most of you are probably waiting for, the camera setup. The rear camera here stack is headlined by a 108 megapixel primary sensor, backed with a PDAF and OIS, that is autofocus and optical image stabilization sensors, ensuring sharp detailed shots. Even in tricky lighting situations, the performance here was commendable. Now, there is also a 50 megapixel telephoto lens with a 2x optical zoom, and it's refreshing to get something beyond the digital zoom for this price point. And then we've got a solid 30 megapixel ultra wide angle lens for when you want more in frame. Pretty versatile, right? But there's a recurring theme with the photos on the smartphone. The quality is inconsistent. Stabilization is decent enough when you're standing still, but try moving and you'll notice a jitter. The camera doesn't cope well when it comes to fast-paced movement, which means shaky hands equals shaky footage and bad low-light photos. You also get a whopping 50 megapixel wide-angle lens for the front-facing camera that handles selfies like a pro. Now, I know I'm saying like a pro, but I also find this casts on the front-facing camera photos. On the video side, you're looking at a 4K recording video at 30 FPS and 1080p 30 FPS with gyro EIS for some smooth handheld shots. It's not bad, but bumping it up to 60 frames per second would have been the cherry on top. When it comes to the colors from this smartphone, as far as the videos, they come out reasonably well and they don't suffer from the odd cast that you see with the photos. But generally, the softness tends to creep in, especially in higher resolutions. I think the HMD Skyline offers some impressive specs, especially for this price bracket. Tons of megapixels, that telephoto lens in the mix, and a generally solid shooter when conditions are perfect. That's the word, when the conditions are perfect. The HMD Skyline currently retails at $500, which is roughly 850,000 naira for 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage. Now let's talk about the battery life. The Skyline is packing a 4600 mAh battery, which honestly feels a bit small for a chunky device like this one. Most Android devices these days are rocking 5000 mAh battery. And so yeah, bit of a head scratcher if you ask me. In my testing, watching an hour of YouTube video at almost the max brightness, it knocked out about 10% of the battery, and this should take you through a full day of use, but don't expect anything spectacular here. Now here's something cool. Despite being a repairable smartphone, they've managed to pack in Qi 2 wireless charging with magnets. I've been using it with my bedside charger and it's pretty sweet. I definitely didn't expect that feature at this price point. Now I would love to hear from you guys. Is a 4600 mAh battery a deal breaker for you? Let me know in the comment section below. Look, here's the deal with the Skyline. It's doing some really cool things. That repairability factor is huge. The camera setup is solid and works when it works. And that 144Hz display is buttery smooth. But I have to keep it real with you guys. At $500, this is a tough sell. You can grab the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE or even the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus for less money and get more bang for your buck. HMD is trying something different here, and I respect that, but would I recommend this right now? Not at this price point. Maybe if they knock off about $150, we'd have a different conversation. But hey, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about repairable phones? Would you pay that extra money for that feature? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and do not forget to check out my comparison between the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus and the S23 FE from Samsung right here. Catch you in the next video. Koidati.